Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about rumors. Let's talk about facts.
We gon' talk about life. We gon' talk about death. Romance, finances, generational wealth.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Well, I went to the YouTube.
Hello.
Hi, are we on the Black Wealth Ambassadors group?
Nope.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Black Wealth Ambassadors.
Well, welcome. I am your host, Marsha E. Dudley.
And I am Etoya Lewis.
And welcome to Let's Talk About It.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
All right. So let's just jump on here. Let me find it.
What are we finding?
There we go. I see us. All right. So did you see my post that I made?
Yes, I did.
I like that post.
I saw it.
I'm gonna put that post in my regular on my regular page because I want to hear what people got to say. But anyway, let's go ahead.
I know. I hope we get some visitors tonight.
I want some people to jump on and we're gonna talk about this. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and open it up and tell everybody what we're talking about tonight.
I'm gonna open it up. See, well, I'm not gonna open it up with everything that you put on the on your post because that was a lot. But I'm gonna open it up by just focusing everyone's attention on Jeannie Mai and Lord, what is her
Young Jeezy.
Young Jeezy. You love Young Jeezy. Okay. So when Jeannie Mai was married to her ex-husband, she never wanted children. Ever. I mean, and she stressed it so much on the real. And so she gets with Jeezy.
Yeah.
Now they're pregnant. And this is the first time she's been pregnant.
Yeah.
She was pregnant before. So we're going to talk about tonight how you can have one frame of mind in one relationship and in a whole different frame of mind in another. Yeah. I think, well, okay. So she said that she didn't feel safe in her previous marriage. So her safety was the issue in having children. I don't know what that means. Because you married this man. And she said before they got married, she told him she didn't want any children. And he said he didn't really care for having children. So, and they're both with different people with children.
But I think that maybe when she said she didn't feel safe, sometimes people marry a person not because of love, they marry them because of other things. And so you trust that person enough to fulfill that thing, but not to procreate and have a family, because to have a family with someone is a big deal. So maybe she couldn't see him, because that's what I would feel. Because at one point, being married to somebody else, I felt like that. Like I couldn't trust that person to bring another life in this world with them. So.
But she married him prior to that, is what I'm saying. Because she said they talked about it before they got married. Hey, I know you want to marry me, but this is one of the things that I'm not trying to have any kids.
Yeah.
I don't want kids. She said she never wanted kids.
I just think that sometimes when you meet the right person, they can bring out a different level of love, and this just bring out a whole, not just love, just a different side to you. And you may have been in a relationship, been married or whatever with somebody else, but that person just didn't flick that switch on for you, but this new person does. And like I say, I understand that.
Well,
So
Quinn chimed in and she said, "Oh, and I'm going through this currently, but I'm gonna let y'all talk. I'm listening."
no, but that's something that a lot of people go through. And I think that you just have to be just really, I think we're gonna have to just be really, really truthful. And I'm gonna be really, really truthful. Even with this marriage with me and Victor are in, Victor always, and even from what his ex-wife says, she says that he does things that she didn't, for me, that he didn't do with her. And he told me that he is a better husband to me than he was to her. And I think that sometimes, like I say, I just think that sometimes another person can bring some things out of you that you didn't even know that you had locked inside of you. It just, it goes more than just sexual. It goes more, it's emotional and physical and spiritual. You can get on that type of level with somebody and they draw all of that out of you. So
Okay. I believe that. It makes me think about the movie Acrimony. Remember
mm,
when Taraji went crazy after he left, and he went and had got the girl pregnant, and
mhm,
was doing all kind of wonderful things with her. It didn't matter that he gave her millions of dollars.
yeah,
She was with him all those years and
mhm,
spent all of her money to make sure he was good,
mhm,
and then nothing. Like he
yeah.
just goes, and I got how she felt, but at the same time, it was like, okay, well, here's some money for your troubles.
Yeah, but the thing is, in reality, she truly loved him. She loved him with
Yes, she
everything.
loved him more than she loved the whole money
Yes,
aspect of their relationship.
and she let outside influences seep into her marriage. That's
Well,
another.
when you say you are you talking about her sisters and brother-in-laws, and how they were, oh, he ain't doing this and he ain't doing that, and
Mhm.
when she was younger and she got in the accident,
Yeah, but she brought that accident onto
she
herself as
brought a
far.
lot of stuff onto herself.
Yeah, as far, but I get it. And to be honest with you, we have so many women. I have heard so many stories of women saying that they have poured into this man and trying to teach him this and love him through this and encourage him and then he leave them and go and get with somebody else. And the perfect man, everything, like I said on my post, everything that you tried to get him to do, or guys, everything you tried to get her to do, she didn't do it and went right to somebody else and did it. Y'all just, I think that sometimes you just got to cut your loss and just say, we were not meant
Meant
to
to
be.
be. Okay, Quinn says definitely the motivation and having the hard conversations make a difference.
Yeah,
Carlos says we are supposed to learn from mistakes. You know the saying, if you know better, you should do better. And Quinn says it's lessons learned.
yeah, it's
Well,
definitely lessons learned.
I mean, sometimes when you go through a relationship, you get in the relationship for one reason, and then you see things that you don't like about somebody, you try to change it, they don't see it, so they're not going to change it. And
Yeah,
then they go somewhere else and they realize sometimes it takes that break in between relationships for people to kind of like focus on what went wrong. What
yeah,
do they need to do better the next time?
yeah. And then the thing is that after you do all that and you may feel rejected, do you not do it for the next person?
What do you mean?
Because a lot, and this goes with, I think I can only speak from a woman's perspective. A lot of times we will pour into a man, and like I say, the relationship does not work out. We go, they go somewhere else, and they're that man. Or let me tell you, for me, my ex-husband, when I met him, all he wore was throwback jerseys. On Daddy's Girl, when Gabrielle
He
Union
said, if
said,
I see another
yeah,
man over for
let me tell you something. My ex-husband was almost 40. He was still wearing throwback jerseys and white tennis shoes, Air Force, whatever. And he had a car.
When you met him, was he wearing that?
Huh?
When you met him, was he wearing that?
When I met him, he had on a uniform, a military uniform.
Oh.
But in his leisure, I found out every time we would go on a date, that's what he had on. And I was like, look, you ain't got no grown folks clothes in your closet. And because the kind of person that I am, I'm not it was okay for him to wear it, but at the same time, you're almost 40. You're supposed to have a variety of clothes.
Yes.
And so we went through that, like changing his wardrobe, the kind of car he drove. When I say totally upgraded him, and now we divorced. But anyway.
So now he's wearing all kinds of wonderful stuff and smelling good. And
yeah, he went from
but you couldn't get that.
He went from a Chrysler, whatever, to now he drives Cadillacs. I said, okay. And then
I'm glad I could upgrade you.
Yes, and look here, the whole time we was married, I kept saying, "Oh, I'm going to go and get this Cadillac, blah 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 blah." As soon as we divorced, he went and got that same vehicle. I told him, I said, "It's okay, boo."
Okay, here's Greg Dudley. Talking about everyone can't be pimping like Carlos. Talking about that boy be clean.
Who said nothing wrong with dressing comfortable?
Carlos.
Oh. Well, let me tell you. Like I said, it's cool, but I'm a grown up. You're supposed to have a variety of clothes.
So somebody chime in and let us know how you've changed from your first marriage or relationship to who you are now in your relationship. And I would love to know, like, I mean, see, for me, and as far as me and my house, you know what I'm saying, that I've been with Carlos since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
So we've grown together.
Yeah.
In things. We've had our problems in our relationships and we've parted ways and we came back together stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see how changing up and going out and experiencing the world and reflecting can give you a whole different aspect on a relationship and what it's supposed to be and what you're looking for in it. And when everything lines up, it makes a big difference.
But what do you say to the person who, honestly, they love this person with everything inside of them? They gave them their all. I'm talking about completely upgraded their life. Oh, this is the one. When we done talked about this before, you be with somebody for 10, 15 years
and never get married.
Y'all break up, and 2-3 months later, 6 months later, that person marries somebody else, especially someone who says, "I'll never get married."
Quinn says, my ex-husband, when he met me, I was a straight tomboy, basketball shorts, t-shirts, sweatpants. But now, baby, I will dress up in a heartbeat and throw on some heels. I know that's right. Be all cute. Hair be slayed all the time.
Always cute.
Like, okay, Quinn.
So, Quinn, I have to ask you, what made you change? What brought that piece of you out? That feminism, that what brought that out? What was different from your, what was the difference between your past relationship and this new relationship? So I think that's the issue. What is that thing? What do we call that thing that makes that person just want to change? That they see everything
I just believe it's growth. I think that's what that is. It's growth. Growing in who you are and who you want to be.
Okay, but Toya, do you call that growth when, like I said, you've been with somebody?
When you walking around in Jersey, and then now you got on a 3-piece suit? That's growth. That's growth, because those 5-star restaurants don't want you in here in New Jersey, and I want to go to the 5-star restaurant.
Exactly. Okay, but what about the person who was in a relationship for 10 or 15 years? Do you remember?
Carlos said maturity.
Yeah.
Quinn says he likes to dress up all the time, and we looked like we were going to 2 different places. Boss Shar
Yeah.
says love will make you want to be sexy for your partner. The connection. Yes, boss.
That's my Coco. Hey, Coco.
Quinn says, so I wanted to match my husband's fly.
Yeah.
And I had to step it up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But he made you want to do that. Some people just don't do it.
Yeah.
Greg says, oh, let me expand it, because he said, okay. I was hopelessly in love with this one female and even joined the army because of, wait, what? You joined the army because of her? We were supposed to get married and she left my ass in basic training, saying she wasn't ready for marriage. 2 years later, found out she got married and was pregnant.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry that happened.
You know what? I'm so sorry, Greg. I did not mean to laugh. I wasn't laughing at that. That's ugly.
Oh, that is ugly.
Yeah, yeah.
But it happens so often. The instead of her saying, I want to get married, I just don't want to get married to you.
Yeah.
I don't think that we have that connection to where we should get. I don't think a marriage between us would work.
Yeah.
He said it's okay to laugh.
Cold-blooded.
Yeah, that is a little cold-blooded.
That was cold-blooded.
Okay, some more. So come on, y'all, give us some more stories about what happened. Who was it? You that changed, or was it them that changed? Greg gave us one where she changed her whole outlook on marriage. Greg, I know you got stories on where you was saying to somebody you wasn't doing this and you weren't doing that, and then you did it with the next person.
You know what? I think one thing that I can say that I did,
wait, hold on. Quinn says, damn, Greg, I did the same thing to an ex-boyfriend of mine, like the exact same thing. You know, Quinn Savage, though, so we not at the fool with Quinn. She then says, but we still best friends now, though. Actually talk to him almost every day. Greg says, I ran across her a few years back, and she... Oh, wait, what?
He put her
bad and been divorced twice. Yeah, you did dodge a bullet.
Unless that bullet was me, because I ain't, look at here. I this is my third marriage. Ain't nobody dodging no bullets. That was me dodging bullets.
I know that's right. You better say that.
But I was gonna say, Victor definitely made me change. I didn't follow a man. I don't know. I never followed a man. I would try to, but and then I take that back, because the beginning of my second marriage, I was very, very submissive and different stuff like that. And at the end, that's when I kind of like turned. But I think for me, wanting to let him lead and be in the role that I'm supposed to be in, let him lead and different stuff like that. That's something that he brought out of me, because usually I'm a beast, and it's like, but I still have my moments, but for the most part, I let him lead and I follow.
Okay. Sharita says, sometimes it takes that one to make you change your mind or reconsider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, like when Carlos and I, even before I met Carlos, I only wanted one child. One.
Yeah.
And I needed it to be a girl. Come on, shake him up. I had a boy. I was like, oh well, it's just gonna be me and this one kid right here.
Yeah.
And then I got pregnant with another one. I was so angry. I was angry at me. I was angry at him. It wasn't because our marriage was horrible or anything like that. It was, I only wanted one child.
It wasn't in the plan.
Right. Yeah. It was, and we already had two, from previous relationships. So I didn't want any more. So we ensured that we wasn't going to have to worry about me ever. That was one thing that I knew without a shadow. I didn't want a whole bunch of kids.
I never wanted.
Now I have a whole bunch of God kids.
Yeah, you do. But you got a bunch of kids.
Greg says, when I was single, I used to say I would buy certain stuff for females and I wouldn't do this or that. But since being with my wife, all that shit out the door.
I know that's right.
I buy her everything possible.
I know that's right. Hold on, you look. Sharita has said she was that one. I know that's right, Sharita. I was that one.
I mean, people change when their circumstances change, I believe.
Oh, we know what you were saying, Greg. You wouldn't buy it, but now you do.
We got that. We got that. There are a lot of people who go through relationships where their partner can't keep a job, and then they get with somebody else and find the motivation to get a great job.
Yes. I'm sorry.
That has to be frustrating. Yes. We struggled all this time because you didn't want to get out there and do what you were supposed to do.
Oh, yes.
And now you over here with her
and
her 3 kids.
Yeah.
We only had 1, and I couldn't get you to do what you were supposed to do for me and our 1 child. But you over there playing dad and you playing the family man.
No, you gotta read what your husband put in these comments.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I cannot read that.
I'm sorry. That's why I kind of like laughed while you were talking. I wasn't trying to be rude.
Y'all don't laugh at him.
It's your husband on here acting crazy.
Quinn says, I'm a hard chick and I ain't for the weak.
I ain't either.
But my current partner is teaching me how to still be me, but not as hard.
I went through
how
that.
How to not curse. Oh, wait a minute. How to not curse so much, but still get my point across. How to be more ladylike and not one of the fellas.
And I was definitely a lady. Like I say, I just have a very strong personality.
Greg said Quinn is a gangster. Greg sounds about right. She told us in Germany she was going to trap you. Shut up, Greg. You know what? You always make me act out of character.
You out here trapping bros.
We ain't no need to trap nobody. We were getting married. Ain't no trap.
Sharita Missy. Okay, y'all. So I really want to hear from some guys. Like, were you in a previous relationship? Some more men. If you was in a previous relationship and you were with someone who tried to teach you, tried to do these things and get you to go, but then you got with this person and everything that woman tried to teach you or give you, you didn't do it, but with this person you are doing it. I want to hear from some of y'all, and I want to know why. She went home a single lady and came back a married mom.
Don't laugh at that. Don't laugh at that.
I can't with y'all. Why you people always showing that on here?
Always. I just don't understand. They just won't let me be great. I don't understand why. But I mean, everyone has their thing that they won't let go of. They're like deal breakers. We talked about deal breakers before.
Yeah.
And getting pregnant is one of those things. Look, I don't want any kids. I'm just going to, because that's a thing for me. I don't want to carry it.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to feed it.
Yeah.
Clean up after it. That's a whole responsibility.
Yeah, sure.
And if you know that you aren't equipped to handle it, especially at a young age,
yeah,
you should definitely stand your ground on that And if the relationship survives and you change your mind later, then so be it. Now we are ready. But you have to be ready in a relationship for work, babies, all that.
Yeah.
All that's very important.
And I think the main thing for those that
Quinn says, while Carlos, the song says stand up in it. So that could have got you up. Come on, okay, y'all, my bad, carry on. Carlos said it was opposite for him in his first relationship. I was the one trying to make the relationship work, but she wasn't ready for what my vision was.
Okay. And I like that because now you're seeing it from a different perspective, because a lot of times we always think that, oh, it's the woman who's doing this and doing that or whatever, or breathing, trying to breathe life into this man. But there you go, you have an example of a man who was trying to make it work, and maybe she wasn't mature enough to handle that.
But that's why I said, when people get married at young ages,
yeah,
it's gonna be tougher. It's automatically going to be tougher because it's so many things that you don't know and you're learning with your spouse.
Yeah.
And if you're not able to handle it, it's going to really have a horrible effect on your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Your marriage is going to either sink or swim. Greg says, also back in the day, I didn't believe in giving oral sex to women. To the point that I was literally kicked out of somebody's house for not doing it. I would always say I would never do that. I came to the conclusion that I needed to stop jumping. I came to the conclusion that it was a big deal. So I broke down and learned how to, because that chick I told y'all I was going to marry. That's why she didn't want to marry you.
That's exactly why she didn't want to marry you. Let me tell you, she went to basic training or wherever she went. Never mind. Yeah. Never mind.
Leave it alone, Marsha. Leave it alone.
Yep.
Leave it alone.
Yep.
Look, is that a deal breaker?
Yes. Most definitely.
That's a deal breaker. Oh, I mean, it ain't for the weak at heart.
But you want to know something? He brought up a very good point, though. There are things that you may not be willing to do, and maybe and somebody else is.
Yeah.
And so you look, that other person, it just seems more appealing.
Carlos said, I wasn't ready, but I knew what right looked like. Had great examples in my small neighborhood. You weren't ready for what?
Marriage.
When? Which time?
With his first relationship. Because I made the statement that maybe she was young and maybe she wasn't ready or something like that. And then you said what you said, and so it just took him a while. He typed kind of slow.
Greg said she left him for a drug dealer that had more money than he did. She wanted the fast life. The fast life is not the life. Oh my goodness. I wish these young women would just understand that fast money is not always good money.
I cannot. Oh my God.
Greg is the candy liquor.
No. The Bible says that the bed is undefiled.
This fool said he's the candy master. Candyman.
Yeah.
I guess. So I mean, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. So is there conversations that need to occur at the beginning of a relationship of all the things that in your current position, how like your current mindset
Yeah.
that people are not having? Because if you're having these conversations at the beginning, you would think that there's no need to
That's the
move
point.
forward if I already know that you don't want this.
No, that
If
but see,
I saw on this story, this woman posted, and she was like, she had been with her boyfriend for 11, 12 years. And over the time they've had kids, she's gained weight.
mhm,
And she's still his girlfriend.
yeah.
And she asked him about marriage, and he was like, "Oh, I could never marry you. You're what you
Yeah.
mean? I've been this size for years. What?
Mhm.
I wasn't no little girl when you met me." And it's stuff like that that's like, well, why wouldn't you just tell me this at the beginning that, listen, our relationship isn't going to go anywhere. If marriage is what you want, I can't give that to you.
And then bring children into this world.
Right.
Regardless if you're forever tied to that person. So if you wanted a skinny woman or whatever you wanted, if she needed to have longer hair, then that's what you should have gotten. That's what you should have picked from the very beginning. But
Right.
to go back to what you were saying, is there a conversation that needs to be had? Yes. I'm not going to lie to nobody. Being this my third husband, there was a level of expectation that was set from the very beginning. And I think that a lot of times, especially with women, because a lot of women, I'm going to say us because I was us, a lot of us were single for so long and you just want a man, so you're afraid to
Settle.
have that conversation, so you just go whatever you like. Want me to bark like a little dog? Want me to bark like a big dog? But on the inside, but you're just trying to get them. And then once you get them, then you want to say, you know what? I ain't no dog at all. I'm really a cat. It's that thing. You change on them. There was no level of expectation set.
Okay.
You trick them.
Quinn says, most definitely the hard conversations and what you learned from previous relationships.
Yes.
Yes. Greg says, nowadays people don't have conversations or real connections. They just jump into the bed
Yes.
and call themselves a couple.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good one, Greg.
Yeah.
Quinn says, most people don't want to hear about past relationships, but I do because it shows me your growth and where you haven't grown. It also helps me to understand the person because of the past.
But a lot of times people lie.
It does help you see kind of where this person is coming from. So if they do something or they are a little standoffish, you kind of understand why. But then you have to love them differently so they can let their guards down to be who you need them to be.
Yeah. But nobody's having, people want to have sex now. And sex is the basis. If that sex is good, then our life is going to be good. And that's what people are thinking.
Not until your credit is bad.
Yeah. And it's like, after a while, that sex, it get real old. So,
Balshar says, you teach people how to treat you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And you, like I said, you set a level of expectation from the very beginning.
And Greg says, if you pay attention, people will show you who they are.
Yeah, but it takes time.
It takes time. It takes a lot of times.
It takes time.
Sometimes people are so good at sending their representative. That's what you see the majority of the time.
That part. You have to, let me tell you, my pastor used to always say, you don't marry somebody until you make them mad. Y'all get in a real heated conversation. I'm talking about like y'all have to have, he wouldn't even marry a couple if they hadn't had a like an argument, a real heated argument. Because one thing about it, when a person get mad and when they're drunk, they're going to tell the truth.
Yes. Come on and preach. They will tell the story.
Yes. Exactly how they feel.
Because it shows them
Mm-hmm.
their ugly selves.
Yeah, their true self. What's up? What? Let me see what's on the inside of you, the real inside of you.
I'm not fooling with LL Cool J right here.
Look, I was like, I want a girl with some extension and bamboo. I'm like,
At least 2 pair. Fendi bag and a bad attitude.
oh my god.
Okay, David.
But yeah, I think that a lot of times though that usually a person is better when they go to that next person because what I used to always do, I would say, okay, what went wrong in this relationship? Because I ain't gonna repeat it in this next one. And I think that that's what you have to do. It's okay to make a mistake as long as you learn from the mistake.
Right.
And a lot of times we don't learn from our mistakes. We just keep jumping and jumping and jumping and hurt a bunch of people. So
okay, I have a question for David since he popped in with his lyrics. You and your wife have been together since y'all were teenagers. How has your relationship changed over these years? Like, what did you do then that you would never do now?
Oh, that's a loaded question, Toya.
I mean, what you mean that's a loaded question? I just want to know some things. You don't have to give me a whole bunch. Just something that you're like, oh, well, when we used to do that back then, we ain't gonna do that now.
Yeah.
That's not always the case. Some people just carry the same BS from one person to the next. Yes, they do. The same crap.
Yeah. But those are people that don't grow. And to be honest with you, that's
the reason why I said it's growth. And you was like, oh, I don't know. It is growth.
It's definitely growth, but it's also on the person who keeps talking to them. They have to have a conversation with that type of person to find out who are you. Make sure you don't compare.
Make sure you don't compare or ridicule your new companion with your old one. Yes. They're like cars. None of them drive the same.
That's so true. Now that's a amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the things you should never do. That's something you should never do. So you act just like, that's why I left her ass.
Yeah. And then if someone is vulnerable enough to tell you about things that went on in their relationship, you shouldn't bring that up and hit them with that either. Because I've had that happen. I told somebody, okay, well, in my last relationship, this, and this person will go, well, you let this, you took that in that relationship. Why you can't take this in this one?
Okay, I like what David said. See, it wasn't so loaded. He said he has become wiser. They don't entertain drama, as well as focus more on themselves instead of everyone around them. See, because when you're young, you do that.
Yeah.
See, that was a good question.
Man, old people do that now.
Well, those that still have that young mindset, if you're still in high school, then you're going to still act like a teenager. Even if you're 54, 55, 65, you're going to still do that because that's your mindset. That's your mentality. You have to grow up. You have to grow up knowing that you can't have a whole bunch of other people in your relationship. When you're younger, you don't really know that. That was some of the advice that I gave to my niece before her and her husband got married. Because they're young. They're older than what I was when I got married, but they're young. And one of the things that I feel like we've always done is kept our relationship.
Yeah.
If something is going on, y'all not going to really know too much about it. You outsiders, y'all ain't going to know nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm not too much asking you for your opinion on what I should do in my relationship.
Yeah.
because I have to be happy with my choices.
Yeah.
But every young person don't feel that way.
Yeah.
Greg says, I always believe that man doesn't know who he truly is until he knows who he wants to be with. I mean, but you got to find that person. That person isn't going to just pop up. And even if you found them, they're not necessarily going to check all your boxes. So then there's a maturity level that you have to be able to navigate that relationship with the flaws. I'm going to call them flaws because those are some boxes that hadn't been checked.
Who said that, Greg?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's a lot of pressure to put on a woman. You're a man, and that's a lot of pressure to put on a woman. I think that when we're all a lot of us in this group, we're in our 40s, and we grew up with people saying, in a relationship it's 50-50. Okay, that's not true. A relationship is
30.
yes. A relationship is 100-100. Before you even get into a relationship, you should already know who you are. And that person is just supposed to be there to add value to who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So
let me read what Carlos.
I don't
Carlos
agree
says
with
a
that.
lot of young couples used to ask Toya and I what makes our marriage work. I always tell them my advice may not fit your situation. All couples are different. All couples are different.
Yeah, everybody.
But there are circumstances that will mirror, and you can tell them what you did in that situation. But I always like to tell people also to just talk about it. If you don't have the conversation, you'll never know. You'll never know what that your partner is thinking.
Yeah.
It's so important to communicate.
Yeah. All great marriages are built on the same foundation. It may be different stuff. The foundation is going to be the same. Or I'm saying great marriages, the foundation should be the same. It may have took that foundation a longer time to form, but if you go and you talk to successful marriages, it's going to be respect, it's going to be love, selflessness. I think that a lot of times in
that's usually the hardest part.
Selflessness,
because that means moving you out of the way and having somebody else forward.
Yeah.
Their needs, their wants, their desires.
But if you always remember that if you take care of me, or if you take care of that person, they should take care of you. It's only in that place where you're constantly taking care of them and they're no longer taking care of you. And that's what I experienced in my marriage, is that I'm giving and giving and giving, and your love is suffocating me. It's no longer giving me life.
Carlos says, one thing that I learned later on in our marriage was knowing learning your partner's love language. Greg says, this is so true, but you guys are a good example of a healthy relationship. You think so, Greg? Aw, he's so sweet. Let us fool you.
Okay, look here. I ain't I don't fake and shake for somebody. We still growing.
Still growing. Every day we take it one day at a time. One day at a time.
Mm-hmm. But I learned today that sometimes, definitely, that is somebody with way bigger issues, that what we got going on now is pretty good, but it's always somebody way worse. But
yes. You have to remind yourself that sometimes we get so consumed with our lives and, oh, why me? And then we don't think about everybody else.
Yeah, understanding the love language. That's definitely true. When me and Victor first got together, he thought my love language was buying stuff. That's not my love language. Is gifts and stuff like that is definitely not my love language at all.
Not mine either.
So any person, most people would think that money and gifts and stuff. I don't know why people have the perception of me, but
Well, I wonder why they would think that.
I go get it, but I have my own and I don't need it from somebody else. I want you to love me. And I'm talking about whether you're my friend, my husband, or whoever. All I want is your love. All I want is your loyalty. And believe it or not, it's crazy. I love correction. I love to be corrected because I love to grow.
Oh, that's the reason why we haven't fallen out yet, because I'm always trying to correct something.
Amen.
Don't take this the wrong way, but
but I love that.
Just kidding.
You do. You call people out, But I think
it's not me being ugly. It's just
no, it's not at all. But I think who said that? Understanding each other's love languages is
David.
That's it. Because listening to your partner and understanding, a lot of times in that previous relationship, maybe that person didn't listen to them and they didn't see them, and this new person can hear and see that person.
I like what Greg just wrote. He said, I've learned over the years there is always going to be a cute face or a nice body, but you can't replace a good woman who gets you and wants the best for you. You sure cannot.
I love
and Carlos said, you damn sure do. Shaking my head. What?
I told your husband be having them slow fingers.
Because I
don't know where that one go.
I don't know what you talking about. It's all good. Yeah, no one understanding the love language.
And back to Jenny Mai though, and her husband her ex-husband said some really ugly, mean things about her. I guess watching her and Jeezy get married, and she's having this baby, and she's all in love, and she's found this
another level of happiness.
Yes. And I think as long as he was with his person and he was having his life, he thought he was doing better than her. And now he feels like someone else tapped into her and brought something out that he couldn't love out of her. And that has to be hurtful. And I think that's where
I would imagine, but he knows that she's in the spotlight. So anything that she does is going to be glamorized.
Yeah.
And so for him seeing it, because if she wasn't who she is, he probably wouldn't even know about it. You know what I'm saying? If they were in totally different states, I mean, unless he followed her on social media, he probably wouldn't even know about her life unless he's stalking her or got a private investigator or something out after her. He wouldn't even know about it, but because she's who she is, and he gonna see the headlines, and he's gonna have people calling him, hey, did you know blah 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 blah. How do you feel about that? Just to get that one little what is it called, soundbite. They just want that one little soundbite of him saying something about her.
Yeah.
Carlos said he's about a minute behind us.
Okay.
Greg says her husband is still hurt. He wanted kids and more, and she didn't. And instantly she married with child.
And I think
but he wanted that, but if that's a conversation that they've had and she never changed her mind, it's just real hard to I'm going to have this child for you. Now I'm going to feel some type of way about you because I never wanted to have kids.
Yeah.
You never made me feel like I should have them. Nothing. There was nothing in my life that was going on that said children are a priority. Yeah. And a lot of times for women, when you see those women who don't have kids until later on in life, they're putting their jobs and their career first.
Yeah.
They have goals and a child is not a part of the plan.
Yeah, I was just about to say they have a plan. And you know what, Vivica Fox, she once said that she hates that she didn't make children part of her plan. And now, she's older, so
there's no plan for her to have. I mean, if she could scrape up some eggs or whatever, she might be able to pay somebody to do something for her. But you see, Tyra did that. I don't know if that baby is hers.
It's hers, but she let somebody else carry it.
And a lot of those women are doing that. And she was older when she did it. Kenya carried her own child, and she was what, 48, 40.
Janet Jackson carried hers, but let me tell you something.
She carried hers.
I don't told y'all. I ain't been tell nobody have no baby late in life.
You never have to start on my Gianna. Okay. Greg says, yes, but maybe if she did this years down the line, but for it to happen within 2 years of your divorce is different. Well, somebody can change your life just like that. Just like Cassie when she left Diddy.
Yeah.
She knew what she wanted. He just didn't want it.
Cassie had been wanting kids. That was
Diddy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Her husband wanted kids, but instead of just telling her, listen, babe, this is what I'm missing in my life, and our relationship will never be able to move forward if this isn't what we want together. He didn't do that. Carlos says she only said she didn't want kids because he doesn't believe in oral sex, like Dudley back in the day.
I'm not gonna do this with y'all. No.
He went from totally against having kids to this big baby maker. I think it's where she is in her life too, because she's on the show. Her name is out there. She has made a career for herself that she can have kids now, and it's okay, because in today's world, being pregnant is the thing. The baby bump. Everybody wants to hold their stomach. Everybody wants to do this.
The reveal party.
Yeah, all this other hoopla that happens with having a baby. I don't care nothing about none of that. See, I've always just been, you pregnant?
Let me tell you,
you can't go nowhere with us, right?
When I got pregnant with Vic said, man, I'm glad we didn't do no reveal party. I said, I know, because it would just been, everybody would be like, I'm so disappointed in Marsha.
Why? Because you didn't have a boy?
Girl, the way I cried. Now, that's my girl. I love that girl, but I wanted a boy. I didn't want no more girls. Girls is too,
Well, I got 4 of them if you need to borrow any. Okay. So Greg says she was just wanted dark meat. Oh my God. She did. He is right. She always said that she could see herself with a black man.
And then she went and got Jeezy.
David talking about Sarah was 90.
But look at it. Even Sarah laughed.
Right. She sure did. Because there was no way that he was talking about her.
Even Sarah laughed.
All this dried up stuff I got. We ain't create no babies. That is funny. But she definitely always said that she was like, black men, if I did it again. And Jeezy, she flirted with him when he was on there.
Is that where she met him at?
Yep. That's where they met at, on the real.
And she looked at his credit score. She was like, he
got some money.
He got all that real
estate. He got companies.
Because everybody else
checking off all these things on her box.
Yeah, because everybody else, we know Jeezy as a rapper and not as a businessman. So we thinking, well, he ain't made no song and I don't know when, but I ain't gonna lie to you. He's smart. When I say smart, so smart. He took his money And he invested that money, and he flipped that money. So he did his thing.
She was flirting hard while married on that show. If you watched it, you could that her and her cheating coming. What is flirting is not cheating. Because this is the reason why I say that. Her job is for her to do that's a part of her job.
Okay, but was she doing too much of it, Toya? You know,
I don't think so. I think well, they said behind the scenes she was a big flirt behind the scenes. But all of them, when certain people came on, it was all a lot of smiles and
I watched it every once in a while.
I watched it when Tamar left, I left.
Yeah, I never watched it that much. So we're getting close. So we gotta. I think that one thing, if we talk about something, I always want to give some type of solution. So we're gonna give some solutions.
Okay, what's the solution? I don't hear no solution.
She always asks sexual questions and gestures to them dudes. Jenny said, "Look, she was trying to get her snatch her up a new husband. That's what she was trying to do. So we ain't gonna hate on Jenny." So,
wait, before you say that, I also need to say that she disclosed on the show that she was molested as a child.
Oh, she
and so that could have played into her mental on having children.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
That she couldn't keep them safe, like somebody didn't keep
right, because her mama didn't keep her safe.
Yeah.
And having the career that she has, that would be a big reason on why she couldn't keep them safe. So there, you know, a lot of times, I mean, she's at a place now where she can take her child wherever she wants to. The child be right up under her. So I don't know. I just thought I'd throw that out there that also could play a part in why she felt like that.
Yeah, definitely.
And why she said she didn't feel safe with her husband. Maybe he showed some things that was reminiscent of what happened to her. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, we never know.
And at the end of the day, like I say, I think that, you know, girl, I read that. We're not even going. Don't even. We'll go right over that one.
That was it was Carlos. We were listening to something on Monday on the radio, and he was like, his wife works. She was a stripper, and he's like, "Yeah, flirt." Oh, she was a bartender at a strip club. He's like, "No, flirt. You get more tips." The woman told the guy the flirt, and then the guys tell the woman, "Yeah, your tips, all that. When you making $900 on a bad night and $2,000 or more on a good night, flirt, baby, flirt. You coming home to me." Okay, Carlos says, most women want to feel a sense of security when they're with their husbands. She might not have felt that from her first husband.
Yeah, and that's true. Yeah. Maybe the first person, didn't give her that security. I like that. I definitely like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what's your conclusion?
I think that I'm gonna give mine. You give yours. I just think that if you are a person who was in a relationship and you poured or you know gave someone your all in all, and then they went off to another person and now they seem like doing better, I think I rather would talk to that person, because I feel like that person, you have to make sure that you heal, and at the end of the day, be happy for that person, because if you were not that person for them and they found someone, okay, well, y'all that spiritual connection just wasn't there. That spiritual and emotional connection just wasn't there. So just let it be. Move on. Don't hold on to that bitterness. Purge it and find you somebody else.
Yeah,
And
well, I go back to communication.
yeah,
I go back to communication each time. That's the big thing.
yeah.
It's not on y'all.
And definitely you make sure that you have that conversation when you first talk to somebody. Um, no. Make
Did
sure
you
that
see
you
what
have that
Greg just
final
put on there?
yes, girl. That you have that conversation with that person and set that level of expectation. Whatever it is that you're
There's a
looking
mutual
for.
understanding that must
Yes.
occur. And
Yes.
I need to know, I mean, with everything from education to job goals, like there has to be goals that's talked about,
Yeah.
and what you don't want within your relationship.
Yeah.
If you're going to move forward seriously, you done been with somebody for 30 days and you don't know what they expect from you, and they don't know what to expect from. It's just, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is that we have to be real here. Life is short. Don't sit there and waste your time. If you want to be married and you start talking to somebody and they're not interested in marriage, don't sit there and keep thinking you're going to change them. You're not
Right.
going to
Because
change them.
you're not going to change them at all.
Exactly. Move on. If you don't want to be married and you meet somebody that wants to be married, you don't waste that person's time. Respect their time. But like I say, a lot of people just want somebody. So, and they really honestly think that if I real good, I can change their mind. Yes. But I promise you, I don't care how good that booty is. It's going that at the end of the day, it's going to take more than that to build a relationship and keep a relationship and make it sustain.
Yes.
So yeah.
So y'all take those words of wisdom. Okay, that's our time for tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Please make sure that you like and subscribe and just hit that little bell for notifications on our YouTube channel. Let's talk about it with Etoya and Marsha, and make sure that y'all check out our cuisine, creative cuisines and cocktails. They load those shows every Tuesday, y'all. I promise you. The Lewises can cook and that food be good. Okay. We got to taste some wings last week. Okay. Look, what you cooking this week? Because you need to
I'm
come over.
thinking, because so many people ask me to make shrimp and grits for them.
Oh,
Something's going on with my sister. I'm gonna have to get off this phone so
okay.
I can find out what's happening.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of Let's Talk About It. We will see y'all next Thursday. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful night.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.